Please welcome SAP General Manager and Global Head of IoT and Innovation Go-to-Market, Nayaki Nayyar.
Under Armour has always been more than an apparel company. We've always been an innovation company. Using technology is a critical differentiator, changing the expectation that the consumer will have for what a sports brand should be for them. This is where we're going to need a big, bad technology partner. Bring in, cue the bell, SAP. Under Armour is a live business. We can anticipate the issues and needs that you're going to have using live data to really understand the needs of the athlete, to make better decisions that meet our consumer where they are. The right place with the right product at the right time. The days of the 18-month supply chain are something that we are quickly putting in our rearview mirror, with plans in place right now to cut that by as much as 20 to 30 to 40%. So what SAP really does for the Under Armour brand, it truly allows me to run our business end to end.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. You know, I will say this. Every time I see that video, it makes me love Under Armour even more. It is not just a cool brand, but the pace of innovation that they have rolled out in the last few years is truly amazing. And before I jump into the details and share with you examples of many such companies and customers who are transforming their business model in this digital age, let me first take a moment and thank Red Hat and the open source ecosystem for giving us this opportunity to share with you all our vision, our strategy, but most importantly, the partnership that we have. Red Hat and SAP had many, many years of partnership, and how we are extending this into the IoT world. I have some cool innovations I want to show you, the use cases that we are working on, and also some of the architecture that we are using between the software from Red Hat and also SAP. But before I jump into the details, let's take a step back and look at what's happening around us. We hear this word digital all day long. And if you think about it, what does it really mean for large enterprise companies going through this transformation? And if you look at Under Armour as a brand was barely even known 10, 15 years back. Today, they are not only competing with all the majors, the likes of Nikes and Reeboks of the world, but they have effectively transitioned their business model of not just selling fitness products, but selling fitness as a service. They're monitoring the fitness levels of their consumers, millions and millions of consumers around the world, and proactively prompting them, nudging them, and encouraging them to exercise more so they can stay fit. This is what we call outcome-based transformation, which is evolving from not just selling fitness products, but selling fitness as a service. And if you take into industrial world, all the large manufacturers, GEs of the world, Siemens, everyone is going through a transformation. In fact, Jeff Emmel from GE also said that today, all the industrial companies will be also a software and analytics companies in the future. GE is effectively looking at transforming their business model of not just selling heavy equipment like generators, but megawatts of power generated by these generators. This is what we call how companies are evolving into the outcome-based economy. You already saw how Uber and Airbnb has already, even without owning the assets, they're actually delivering the outcome. Travel as a service or accommodation as a service. That's the outcome that customers are looking for. So how do you do it? We at SAP have rolled out our blueprint of what we call the digital core, which is powered by our S/4HANA platform, which enables customers across any industry to implement their entire end-to-end business processes, which is also a HANA platform, which powers our S/4HANA solution. In addition, we have 4 pillars that support our core S/4HANA enterprise system. How do you engage with your customers? Gone are the days when customers walk into your store to buy your product. Today's customer They are engaging with you across multiple channels. They are on Twitter, they are on Facebook, they are on LinkedIn, they are on, in your store, they are calling your call center. They're engaging with you what we call omnichannel. And they expect that you're listening to them on what they are saying in any of the channels and engage back with them in their preference, in the channel of their preference, which means when they tweet, they expect you to tweet back, not send them an email. Similarly, how do you optimize your supply chain, your end-to-end supply chain? You heard Kevin Plank talk about how Under Armour, which had 18 months of supply chain, reduced it by 30 to 40%. That is huge. How do you hire and retain talent that will help you compete, scale, and really innovate in this global economy? And finally, what do you do with all that data that you're getting from your devices? We hear 50 billion devices that will be connected by 2020. You know what I think? It doesn't really matter how many devices. We could have 50 gazillion devices that could be connected by 2020. What really matters is what do you do with that data? How do you convert that data to generate value or to generate an outcome? So what we have done is, because IoT is such a big, deep, wide topic, we defined a framework of what we call things to outcome. Because at the end of the day, every time I talk to a head of a business, a CEO, or a head of engineering, or head of operations, they say, Nayaki, it's really not about connecting things. It's about those outcomes, generating net new revenue streams, business models, customer experiences. How do I reduce my maintenance time or my turnaround time? That's what they're looking for. And to get to that outcome, it's a journey that they have to go to of how they connect the things to get the insights. And from insights is what you're able to take actions, is to be able to dispatch that technician before that equipment goes down. And actions is what is helping you to get to those outcomes. And in that same framework of things to outcome, we as SAP have to clearly define where we play and where we partner. IoT is an ecosystem play. I don't think there's any one player can own the entire stack. So we have clearly defined that we are going to be in what we call the outcome layer. We are working on business applications, IoT applications, that help companies derive those outcomes. There are 5 key industries that we are razor-focused on. Manufacturing is a big focus for us. We have been in this industry for many, many years now. So how we converge what we call OT and the IT layer and bring the data from shop floor to make it available at the top floor. Transportation and logistics, I see a huge uptake, being able to track and trace the entire life cycle of products as they move from manufacturing to warehouse to your vessels till it reaches your consumer. How do you track and trace and optimize your entire supply chain? Connected energy, we see a huge momentum in all the energy companies like oil and gas, utilities, mining, and chemical industries. We see how you optimize the entire energy consumption and the supply chain. And finally, healthcare. How do you bring the network of patients and doctors together and provide that personalized healthcare, especially in the developing countries? While we are focused on building all these business applications in each one of these industries, we are also partnering across the entire ecosystem. Again, this is not the complete list. This is just a representative list of the partnerships that we have today. Watch out, and we will be announcing a lot more partnerships in the near future. 3 big categories of partnerships we have: manufacturing, customers like Siemens of the world, Hitachi's. You will see a lot more announcements come out with the work that we are doing with GE and everyone else. Big gateway vendors. You heard Dell and Cisco earlier. We are partnering with all the gateway vendors, Intel, Dell, Cisco, Jasper being acquired by Cisco, to make sure that those edge devices, those gateway devices are intelligent, and they're able to filter the noise out and bring the relevant data into our cloud platform. And also all the telco vendors, like Vodafones of the world, T-Systems of the world, and we will see a lot more partnerships coming out from the telco vendors too. And all of this powered by our HANA platform, which not only enables all of our IoT applications, but also helps all of our customers and partners to build net new applications or extend our applications. And one key question I get is, Nayaki, what does HANA have in the IoT space? What are the various services that we offer in our HANA platform which supports IoT? And as you can see in this picture, on the my far right, your far left, we have what we call IoT Intelligent Edge. Because we fundamentally believe that the devices that are at the edge, we need to make them intelligent so that you filter the noise out. I mean, the amount of data that you gather, for example, a coker unit or a boiler unit in an oil and gas company has, let's say, 30,000, 40,000 tags, and each tag is sending temperatures, volumes, pressure. So the amount of data that you're collecting from this edge is really big, and you don't want to bring all of that data into a cloud platform, but filter the noise out at the edge. And this is where we are partnering with Red Hat and how we are making this edge intelligent. Moving that over into our core platform, customers have a choice of running this either on-prem or in cloud. And in the core platform, we have what we call IoT Foundation, which enables customers to do remote data sync, to keep the stream of data coming in from the edge, to have the continuous stream, but also dynamic tiering. One of the key questions I get is, HANA is a little expensive for us to store all the data. How do you enable dynamic tiering so that HANA is only used for hot storage, and for all the warm and cold storage of data, we use other data lakes, Hadoop, or any other data lakes that is of your choice. And finally, how do you do end-to-end device management? But when the data is here, and we have all these business applications, the real value comes when we converge this with the rest of the enterprise systems. When I say rest of the enterprise systems, your maintenance systems, your service systems, your customer engagement systems, and also your extended supplier network, the whole Ariba supplier network that we have. As we converge and connect with that network, that's what helps you optimize this end-to-end. So let's look at what are we doing in the intelligent edge. This is one of the key innovations that we are working with Red Hat. This was for the connected retail scenario. You know, you talk to any of the big retailers, their number one use case is to be able to monitor foot traffic in their store. They want to know where their customers and consumers are spending most of their time so they can place high-value products in the right aisles. But also detect if there are any shelves that are empty or they don't have the product, and optimize your supply chain. And especially for high-end retailers like Burberry's of the world, their number one requirement is to personalize a service. When a loyal customer walks into your store, you want to be able to detect it and personalize, make sure you give them the right promotions and any kind of coupons that you have for them to get the best offer. And for this scenario, the intelligent edge that I mentioned, we have our SQL Anywhere database that is running on the edge devices, which is the remote data database. Along with that, we use MQ for brokering the message between the IoT devices or beacons, bringing the data in, and also BRMS for being able to filter the noise out at the edge. And when the data enters into our HANA Cloud Platform, which we use the remote data sync, here is where we are also leveraging the JBoss data virtualization tool to federate this data with other data sources and make it available using our OData APIs on the mobile apps. So they are pretty cool mobile apps, both from a consumer perspective, how the experience looks like when the consumer enters the store, and also from a retailer perspective, so they can see what's happening end-to-end in their retail store. This entire scenario, this demo is available in our booth, in our SAP booth. I would strongly encourage you to go take a look at it and play with it. But if you want to get your hands dirty, you can actually download this from from GitHub.com and get your hands dirty and start playing with that. Moving on, you know, one of the key questions we get is, where is the money? Where is money? How are customers saving costs or generating net new revenue streams? Here is a great example of a large operator of trains in Italy. Tren Italia is one of the largest operators of trains in Italy. And they started this journey almost a year back with us. Instead of me telling the great experience they had and the value they got of it, I have a video that will tell the story. Let's run the video.
Tren Italia is the leading Italian rail transport operator, wholly owned by the Gruppo Ferrovie dello Stato Italiane SPA. We carry about 2 million passengers every day, with volumes of up to 250 million train kilometers on an annual basis. We are organized into different business units, which cover long-distance passenger transport, commuter traffic, and freight services on both a national and international basis.
Our goal is to carry out conditional maintenance, rather than, as has previously been the case, according to a fixed schedule based on time or number of kilometers.
The new dynamic maintenance management system is a project developed in partnership with SAP, which exploits the full potential of the SAP HANA platform. One aspect that puts us ahead of the competition in the transportation market is the large amounts of data managed on an annual basis, which will exceed 700 terabytes.
The ETR 1000 is a technologically advanced train which is designed to reach a speed of up to 360 kilometers per hour. In a high-speed system, everything, the entire system, must run at the same speed. So it's vital that maintenance facilities can react rapidly to operational stresses as well.
For the railway sector, the most innovative aspect of the Internet of Things is the large number of sensors that are on board the trains. The sensors record many different parameters, like temperatures, pressures, and so on. The data is processed by SAP HANA, and the system then provides the rules to define the required maintenance actions.
To be able to anticipate events and maintenance operations will enable our company to reduce errors and make processes more efficient, and also deliver better services with continuously improving quality standards.
We expect a reduction of maintenance costs of 8 to 10%, which, for our company, is a very significant value, because every year we spend around 1.3 billion euro on maintenance. It will also improve the reliability of trains, and with that, we have less failures and a better availability. Therefore, we will have more trains available to provide more services. In that way, we can provide a better service to our customers.
SAP helps Tren Italia run simple.
There is one thing I want to bring to your attention. They are collecting 700 terabytes of data from those trains. And they also said they spend 1.3 billion euros on maintenance cost every year, and 8 to 10% reduction in that cost is huge. That's where the real value is. That's where what we call the real outcomes that companies are able to generate. Here is another great example. Kaiser Compressors is one of the largest manufacturers of compressors in Germany. And when they started the journey, their number one requirement was to be able to provide those compressors having the highest efficiency and least amount of any maintenance issues. In that journey, Kaiser effectively transitioned their business model of not just selling compressors, but selling compressed air, which means they had to make sure those compressors have the highest efficiency and absolutely no downtime. So that is the evolution of business models that we see happening across customers as they are implementing IoT. Here is another great example. I'm sure you all know Harley. This is one of my favorite customers. Harley, when they started the journey, their number one requirement was every Harley bike that they manufacture, the one they would do for me is different than the one they would do for each one of you. There are 5,000 different ways of how they can configure that Harley bike. But the lead time, from the time they could take the order and execute that order on the shop floor, it used to be 21 days. They significantly reduced that. They went from 21 days of that lead time to 6 hours. That is absolutely huge in the savings they were able to get. Another great one is Alliander, especially in the connected energy space. Alliander is one of the largest energy network provider in Netherlands, and they provide energy to all B2B and B2C customers in Netherlands. And their number one requirement was to make sure that energy network has the highest efficiency and also is up and running all the time. But in that journey of making sure they have the best asset health of that network, they also help their consumers, their B2B and B2C customers, to be able to monitor inefficiencies in their energy consumption and optimize it. And for large energy companies, if you think about it, just 1 to 2% savings, that is huge. That's a lot of money for them. You know, at the end of the day, IoT, the way it is revolutionizing the entire healthcare industry is very, very personal. And here is a great story we have, the work that we are doing with Roche on how monitoring the health of individuals and providing the personalized care. So let's run this video. This is my last one, and then we'll wrap it up.
Diabetes is actually a very common disease. It's known as a first world disease, and that means it's also a lifestyle disease.
Today, we have between 6 and 8 million diagnosed diabetes patients in Germany. The vast majority are type 2 diabetes patients, which is mostly triggered by an unhealthy lifestyle.
Anyone can get type 2 diabetes by not taking care of themselves, by letting themselves go, or by failing to get honest feedback about their lifestyle habits.
And this is, of course, a huge cost factor, especially when you consider the very severe complications associated with diabetes. It is thought the majority of heart attacks and strokes are related to diabetes. This means we can't wait to act only when a patient has already been diagnosed with diabetes. We also have to take preventive action. That is why we decided we needed a package for patients and physicians to provide a better prevention program. The program is called AccuCheck View and includes not only a blood sugar meter, but also a fitness tracker, which is a wristband that tracks steps and daily exercise. What makes the package unique is an app developed by SAP, specifically targeted to meet the individual requirements of patients as well as doctors.
You don't have to visit the doctor all the time, but can check glucose levels at home. They are transmitted via an app to the doctor's system, and the doctor's office can contact you and discuss appropriate measures.
It's crucial to have a solution that is able to gather all the mobile data, and here SAP has the right product with SAP Connected Health, which meets these requirements perfectly. The solution is based on the HANA Cloud Platform, and with that platform, SAP can store and process all the data from the mobile devices.
This app gives the patient immediate feedback, but also gives me immediate feedback, so we can work together more closely.
Small sins are made visible right away, so I can react much faster and adjust my behavior, which is a great benefit.
The doctor's work will change completely. Now, the doctor no longer depends solely on what a patient tells him, but he can monitor the actual data closely and can therefore make much better therapy decisions. This will not only affect diabetes therapy, but all chronic diseases. Increasingly, we will see that technology, apps, and software will all help to strengthen the relationship between patient and doctor, so that therapy can be provided in a much more individualized fashion.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this. I share with you examples of various customers across multiple industries, the value and the benefits that they are deriving from IoT. So IoT is, it's not a hype, it's a reality. It's not if, it's how fast this is going to move and revolutionize and help every industry to transform their business models. And we are totally committed to Red Hat and the rest of the open source ecosystem, and we'll continue to contribute. And thanks a bunch. Have a great rest of the event. Thank you all.